here.
That's
Hi.
scary.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody.
I don't know who's watching or who's not watching.
Yeah, we have no idea, but we're just trying
So
this.
we're just gonna see how this goes, and so welcome. We usually have our little ticket stubs and popcorn thing superimposed up there.
Yeah, all post-production stuff.
So the closest thing I've got to branding here is the ticket stubs and popcorn mug.
Which is pretty pathetic because we have to share.
It really
this
is.
mug
I know it's
between
kind
the
of
two
gross.
us.
So it's kind of weird.
Unhygienic.
It's 4:20 today,
It's
folks,
4:20.
and even though it was funny, I had mentioned to Chris that we were doing a Lebowski kind of a Jeff Bridges thing
Yeah.
for 4:20. He's like, "Oh yeah, because you guys are such."
Yes.
Such big
You got it. That's just the way it goes.
participants in that, and admittedly, I am I'm not really, and
Full
hey
disclosure.
Jen,
Full
so-
disclosure, we decided to do this one live because it was 4:20, or it is 4:20. We don't ever share our picks before we are on the camera. But we both knew, because today's star is, might as well say it, it's Jeff
it's
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. Yeah,
And we both
advertised
knew
that,
without
so.
telling each other, like I knew for a fact, one of Frank's picks is going to be, it has to be The Big Lebowski. And Frank knew one of my picks had to be
So
The Big
we
Lebowski.
figured
So
this
we
was
figured he was coming up, why not do his live
On
for
420,
for 420.
so it just kind of worked out really well. Plus, this is a nice little test run for next month.
anything else?
We're going to do a Star Wars thing on May the 4th.
May the 4th.
So that'll be really fun. So what else is going on? I think we should just let me ask you a question, since we are talking about 420.
Yeah.
We're talking on
Okay,
420,
yeah.
not necessarily about. So
Correct.
in typical fashion here, I'm going to ask you a question. What would you say is your favorite stoner movie? So think about that.
Okay, alrighty,
Till the
gotcha.
end of the show.
Why not?
So,
Yes.
since we both know that we both have
Yeah, I
Lebowski
mean,
as our favorite, I
I'm
think that we'll
sure.
keep Lebowski as a discussion toward the end.
Yeah, so we can each
So we can both
do
just
two
kinda go
picks,
back
and
and
then
forth. So,
we'll do a third.
Yeah.
at the
So
end.
I'm gonna go first because I'm feeling pushy.
Did you have something you wanted to tell me though?
Oh yeah.
You kept
I wanted
saying
to.
he kept saying that
No,
he
we
had
did-
something to tell
We
me.
do this as a podcast as well. We just we post it as a
Yeah.
podcast as well.
A lot of
And I
people,
got-
including my mother, they just don't want to see our faces, so they'd rather
so
listen.
we've got the faces for radio. So we decided to start doing a podcast. I got an email the other day, and I think it was more of a promotional kind of like this company that does like podcasting kind of statistics and stuff. Well, we
Statistics,
found out
right,
that
yeah.
we are number 236 in Australia for audio-visual podcasts. So there's that. I don't know out of how many, because the dude didn't know how many. So I just thought that was
236
236
in visual arts.
in visual arts in Australia.
Australia.
So we're making our mark in the podcasting world. So
Yeah,
we got that going
236,
for us.
huh?
Yeah,
Number 236.
So that's kind of fun.
It kind of begs
So-
the question: why is New Zealand? Why are we falling behind in New Zealand?
I don't know. I don't know where we are in New Zealand, but
Yeah.
anyway. So
236.
236.
Well, hang on. I've got a little announcement of my own.
Your own.
Yeah, I'm kind of wearing the
Lebowski
my
robe.
wife's Lebowski
Mhm.
robe. I have an announcement because
You've
I
been
won a
elected.
major award.
His major award.
Major award. Look at this one.
Best husband
Best
since
husband since
2010.
You
which
guys
is all
since
backwards on the
2010.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that works with me.
I
I'm
think it's
backwards
perfect.
pretty much.
Yeah. So,
So
all right.
I also had a major award.
Congratulations.
I even have to
That's
just
right up
approve
there
it.
with being 236.
236. Yeah.
In Australia.
Yeah. The
So-
scary thing was when we started the podcast.
Mhm.
You know, it's just the audio portion of
Yeah.
the show. When we started the podcast, which is on our show, and we started the whole channel to try to get just to crack that top 235, and we
Yeah, we couldn't.
We haven't done it yet.
We couldn't do it. We picked a number. And,
Yeah,
we haven't done it yet. But you know what though?
We are close.
It's about goals.
That's true.
About
That's true.
goals.
Setting goals, working
All
on
right. So my first non-Lebowski, Jeff Bridges,
Your
top
first-
role,
Lebowski, yes.
is going to be another Coen Brothers film. It's,
very good, yeah.
True Grit.
Okay.
He is just, it's so great to see him in this because he's old and cantankerous,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's so, it's almost like if you took Lebowski and time aged him but time traveled him backwards,
Yeah.
because this would be kind of like,
And if you could subtract the cannabis, you'd be fine.
yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
he was smoking something.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you never know.
So I think that it's a great movie, and it's one of those movies where the dialogue is just it's so perfect for the time, and I think that he is such an angry, mean old guy that when you do see him change, one, it feels kind of natural because he's,
Oh, yeah.
He's starting to, feel a little bit of,
Sure.
kind of kinship with this girl, and so when he does basically want to do the right thing. So
Yeah.
it's a great performance by him, and again, you can't. Much in the same way he is in Lebowski, and I keep referring back to Lebowski.
It's going to
But much
happen
in
at
the
some
same-
point.
Yeah, exactly. Much in the same way is that he's just this sort of a pile of he's like a pile of clothing and hair
Yes.
and beard
Yeah.
and just booze, and he's just
Yeah.
kind of he's just kind of
Yeah.
great like that. I think that Jeff Bridges does that role really, really well. I can't think of him in a role where he's like all sort of neat and pretty and buttoned down.
Button
and
down all the
this,
time.
like-
no.
I can't.
Fabulous Baker Boys. He's dressed up at the piano, but
But
that's only on stage. When they're off stage, he's
yeah,
not that way.
he's all very
Yeah.
very hangdog, as they would say
Yeah.
in certain
Yeah.
circles. So
Yeah.
but that's kind of what I love, that the True Grit thing. My other one for Jeff Bridges would be it's from a John Irving novel.
Okay.
The name of the movie is The Door on the Floor.
Yeah.
And it's a portion of the novel A Widow for 1 Year, and it's a story about this kid who goes to be a writer's assistant, and Jeff Bridges plays the writer, and Kim Basinger plays his soon-to-be estranged wife.
Soon to be
And,
estranged.
well, what's so crazy is that this kid takes this job as this writer's assistant as the marriage is falling apart. So, and he's put in all these terribly awkward positions, and
Yeah.
And Jeff Bridges just plays this. Again, he's just rumply and hair and comfortable clothes, and he's just very comfortable and casual, and
Yes.
he's made, I think, a great career out of being that sort of comfortable, and there's more that's
Yes.
more to the eye, more than there is to the eye
yes.
going on there. Like, this guy's a great writer.
Yeah.
He's a mediocre father to his daughter in this movie, and he's just an awful husband. So he's philandering,
Yes.
and he's trying to write, but he's not doing very much with that. And again, his marriage is falling apart, and he's not great with relationships.
Mhm.
And what's really, like I said, it's really fun that this student, this high school kid, is stuck in the middle of it, and Jeff Bridges
It's also good because you're a big fan.
I'm a
Of
huge
the
John
original
Irving fan.
John
Yeah,
Irving.
and it's
Right.
rare, I think, that you'll look at, if you look at a favorite novel, like a
It's good when
favorite
something
author's
dovetails
adaptation.
well.
Yeah.
It's
So,
adapted well.
Yeah, the only other, I mean, John Irving's he's written so much, and a bunch of his books have been turned into movies, and it was really interesting when I heard that they were doing this one, but just a sliver of it. I was just like, well, why? So much great stuff happens.
Yeah.
But they take this relatively small portion, probably less than half of the book, and they're able to like get so much out of it, and his performance is just fantastic in it. So I'm gonna pause there. Those are my two.
Okay, yeah.
And then we'll talk about Lebowski because there's a lot there. So
Oh yes.
tell me
there is
about
a lot there.
your Jeff
I've
Bridges.
always been a big Jeff Bridges fan.
ever since Tron, right?
Oh yes. Oh, that.
Should we crap all over Tron for a little while?
Yeah,
first
let's just
before-
say I'm a big Jeff Bridges fan. Always have been. He's been in the business pretty much his whole life because his dad Lloyd Bridges was a TV and movie star.
Great.
So he's been around. What was that?
Lloyd Bridges was great at Airplane.
Yes, he was. It's a bad week to quit sniffing Airplane.
Exactly.
Yes. Which is another tie into the whole drug use of that
Exactly,
family.
right.
What is
So it just
going
kinda
on with
works,
those
yeah.
people? That Bo Bridges, we don't even want to get involved.
No.
So Jeff Bridges has been around for a long time.
Yep.
Always loved lots of stuff he's in. So whenever he's coming out in a movie, if I know he's in it,
Yeah.
I'll go
I'm
see
in.
it. Every once in a while,
Yeah.
like he may be in a movie where it's a smaller role, but you know, if I know he's in a movie, I'm still very interested.
Yeah.
Big exception. We might as well just say this
Hey,
right
Jen.
now. When this movie came out, I was a little excited. There's going to be a lot of kind of like a whole new world for people, and there's going to be a lot of what was still very new, computer generated stuff,
Yeah.
graphics, this sort of thing. So when Tron, the Disney movie, came out with Jeff Bridges starring, I mean, he is the star.
Yeah.
It sounded
Aren't
like
the special effects the star.
Yes, it sounded like this could be one interesting one, and I know that we have a common friend or friends who love this movie.
Yeah.
Or
I know
appreciate
a lot of
a lot of things
people,
about
a
it.
lot of people who love this movie. There's a
All right.
lot of people who love this movie.
Yeah.
Some of you may even.
And so just to set the record straight, personally, I do not like this movie. I hated Tron. And I even gave it a shot a year ago, and it had been X amount
Yeah.
of years, and I said, oh, maybe it was me. Maybe I was in a mood. Maybe the wrong frame of mind. I owe it a second chance. Just as disappointed the second time.
It's really interesting because it's super like boring.
Yes.
And even forgiving the special effects. 'Cause
It's early. It's very early in the
very
game.
early in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing a whole like it was the best they could do with what they had at the time.
You got
Fine.
it. Yeah.
I just think that the story
Yes.
is bad.
Yes.
Because it's a let's go from here to there kind of story, and I don't feel anything for any of these characters at all.
Yeah.
The sequel I thought at least had a little bit of emotion in there because it's like the whole father-son thing. So all right, fine, little bit. And I mean the sequel, the effects are a little bit better.
Sure, you can do a lot more.
But no, the original, like just the story in the original, I thought the movie was so
and
incredibly boring.
I'm not gonna dump on it. I just don't like it.
No, it's not.
It I'm not gonna say it didn't deliver what it promised because there was we like you and I, right? We've done so much when it's come to computers and graphics and all that stuff. It's been many years, but still there was a little bit of hope, excitement, and for me it just it just fell flat.
So what is a Jeff Bridges movie that you do like?
So let's talk about the ones that we do like.
Check that off the list.
Yeah.
Crapped
Crapped all over it. Yes.
Yeah,
Just
so all we have to
check
do
that
is
out.
just crap all over Ethan Hawke and
Oh, that poor boy.
yeah, that's alright. He's the worst.
Wow.
Sorry, Mrs. Hawke. Go ahead.
Alright. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. We didn't even rehearse
No,
it.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
kind of worked out.
I wasn't even sure he was
Yeah.
going to get on to the
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke
Go ahead.
thing again. All right. What do we got now? Positive role.
Positive.
He's in a lot of movies that I've enjoyed. These aren't my picks. I can tell you, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. I love that movie. Last Picture Show. Love that movie, and he's very good in both of those movies. You know, Fabulous Baker Boys, Fearless. He's in a lot of movies where you go, this guy always delivers and always seems to be very just natural. Can go to anything.
Such a comfortable guy.
It doesn't it seem
Yeah.
that way? Okay.
I read somewhere that a lot of the clothes he wore in Lebowski were his own.
That doesn't surprise me at all, does it?
So no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we'll hit that one. I'm gonna say one of my two non-Lebowski picks is Tucker, A Man in His Dream,
Okay.
and it's a Francis Ford Coppola movie, so it's done very well.
Yeah.
Great production, the colors, the everything, very good. Attention to detail, all that stuff. What I love about it is it's a biopic per se. Don't know exactly how accurate it is, but it follows a story of a man
In his dream.
Yeah, and I want to say his name was Tucker.
I'm gonna go that way. Yeah.
So let's just go with Tucker,
Yeah.
The Man in His Dream. That's a great title. Yeah, let's go with that one.
All right.
So he's an inventor, an engineer, and he's just has this spirit that will never be crushed. Just enthusiastic. He goes up against the big three auto dealers, and it's like everybody's telling him,
his
get out of my
optimism is
get out of our way, and we're
so
gonna crush
big.
you like a thing. And he's just like, he's still excited. Like his wife will ask him, how did it go? And he's like, great. 20 seconds earlier, you just saw him just smush like a bug.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did it go? Great.
He's that guy when your rowboat is sinking. He's just like, we get to swim.
Exactly. We got this. And so, and then like the government's against him. Everything is, but he's still like, will not say die. And it's infectious. So his wife and his children,
Hey, Heather.
They're all just crazy. Is that Heather?
It's Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Hey, Heather. Go ahead.
No,
I think we were saying hi.
that's my That is wonderful, dear friend. But his enthusiasm is infectious. So everybody who gets involved just gets sucked in.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess we can do this. He says we can do it. We can do it. And all he wants is to produce an automobile that the average American can afford, but be very safe in. And so he's so forward thinking. He's thinking of, an extra light in the front of the car to direct as you're making a turn, seat belts. And that's a big thing with him, is the whole safety thing. He's just so excited, and it's just wonderful to see him. The good thing he has in his favor is that we're coming out of World War II, so he's going to be getting access to materials that weren't readily available, and he can see that people, when they get back home, resettled, if you want, from coming back from war, families getting together, people getting married, starting families, they're going to want to buy a new car. So he's thinking all this out, and he's just so excited. And it's just a great movie because he's just, like I said, it's just enthusiasm, it's just unbridled,
Positivity.
and he's always like, yes, hold that tighter.
Yeah.
He's always just singing a song, can't hold him back, kind of thing, and everybody just loves him for it.
Unlike my pick in True Grit, who's just like, who's bothering me now?
That's
Who
right. I
wants
have to
to
use
see
my
the
voice in
wizard?
the scene.
Get out of here!
Yeah. And so I love that one.
Yeah, that is a
Tucker,
good
Man
one,
in His Dream. My other pick, my other non-Lebowski pick, is that there's a character that's a little similar, but not. And that one is Seabiscuit. And I know a lot of people don't care for this movie, Seabiscuit,
Nope.
because it's
Not at all.
it's
It's like
sentimental.
Tron on horses.
Ouch! It's sentimental. It can be a little, over
Schmaltzy?
schmaltzy.
I think is
Yeah.
the word.
But I love it. It's presented as almost like a PBS documentary. It's done that way. I think they even have David Halberstam doing the thingy,
that
and
movie
I love it.
the hell out of me.
The reason I
Right?
love it,
So
I love the movie. and
I'm
I
rooting
love
for the glue factory in that movie. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Well, the glue factory doesn't win, my friend. No. I love that movie because I think it is so. It has this faith, which is what his character does. Has this faith in humanity, and the big difference between this character and the Tucker character is this one's set 12 years earlier or 15 years earlier. So now he's in the middle of the Depression.
Yeah.
And he's lost a lot. He's lost a child as well. That child has died. So he's down and out in a certain respect. But then you also see the stories of some of the other principal characters in the thing, and they're down for different reasons. They're down and out. The Depression's really got them not just down, but in some cases almost looks like a couple of them may just be checking out of society and the world and stuff. And so he's able to band them together and try to do something with the horse racing.
We can do it.
Yeah, but he's not quite as positive as exuberant, but he's got this faith, which is it's charming, it's endearing, and like I said, I know it's sentimental, and a lot of people,
it really
don't really go for that, and I get it, but I do. It's one of those things.
It does speak volumes about the difference between us, though. Your two picks are so much more uplifting and positive, and mine are just two guys who just just leave me alone.
Exactly.
I want to nap. I just want to write, and I want to get stoned, and that's not necessarily me getting stoned, but
it is.
So, but yeah, I think that's really kind of funny. So
It is.
there's so
Yes,
much of a
that
difference
might say
there,
a little
yeah.
bit about us. But so those are two. And let's be honest. He's got a body of work that.
Oh yeah, it was tough.
He's got
to
50.
pick
He's got 50 good years. He really does.
Yeah.
We'll say 70, 71, whatever. When the last picture show came out, and then now, and he's just one, and he just always seems so comfortable in his own skin, and that he can be, Cogburn in True Grit, and just be very easy with just being this rumpled, crusty guy, and then he can be he can be comfortable in everything, and he also doesn't seem to say no. You know how there are people who you'll hear in the business well, I don't want to take that role because it doesn't make me look so good, or I don't want to do this at this point in my career. It might have. He doesn't. He seems to take. Oh, that's exciting. I can do that.
Well, the Cogburn role in True Grit, that could have been very easy to just be kind of cartoonish.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Because he is so grumpy and mean and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would have been very easy for that to slip in and just
Yeah,
go
you're right.
and be too big.
Yeah, too much.
It compliments to him and to
Well, the
the
Coen brothers definitely.
right,
Yeah.
for sort of keeping that under control.
Yeah.
But I think that that speaks to his talent, and even that's as we drift into the dude here. The dude is just approaches being a cartoon.
Yeah, but yeah.
Because through the years, we've both known people similar, not exactly like,
No, but
similar.
Oh, yeah.
There are people like that, and I think that is going to be the role. I don't want to say it defines him, but I think that's the one that definitely.
It's the role.
It'll be heavy in his Oscar
yes,
memoriam.
Whether or not it's going to define him, yeah, who knows? But I do think in some weird way that's the role he was born to play.
I think so.
I mean, I've heard stories that the Coen brothers said he was the easiest person to direct. Said he never asked for direction. He said the only time when they would start a scene, he supposedly would ask them, do you think that the dude had enough time to light one up between the time he left there and got there? And they would say, oh yeah, and then he would just rub his eyes to red
that way, yeah.
And supposedly that was the only thing he ever asked them. He didn't need help, and I'm not saying that's his personality. He just didn't need help. It was just so natural to get into that mindset. And it's such
a great role. It's a great movie. It is kind of tender. At the end when
the whole Donnie
spoiler, Donnie dies. So I think that is
and the other thing is he's whatever situation he's in the movie. It's like he's there are times when especially if he's with Walter, he's like the voice of reason, and you're like, why the hell is he the voice of reason? But he is, and then he's also the balance between Walter and Donnie. So when it's the three of them, just bowling or whatever, he's the balance. And then when he's the balance in some of those weird scenes between the Big Lebowski and Brandt, the Philip Seymour, who's just the psychopath. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like the balance in between those guys, he's basically just repeating what the Big Lebowski, Brandt will just repeat anyway.
What?
But and so even when he's with Maude and some of Maude's weird friends, he still seems to be the voice of reason, even though she's a much sharper talking, fluid,
more cosmopolitan.
Oh yeah.
What I really like is how no matter where he is, and he is no matter sort of what circle he finds himself in, he's finding himself among the super rich, or he's with the
those nihilists
or his people. He's always it's not like he's this super confident, gung-ho kind of guy, but he is he finds comfort.
Yeah.
Finds a comfortable place in every situation.
The dude abides.
He's just this is where I am, this is what's happening, so I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna throw myself in this couch and make myself a drink
You
and
got
just
it.
kind of hang out.
He's either going to
Yeah.
have a Caucasian or an oat soda.
Exactly.
It's just, hey,
Right.
it's all set.
So I just think that it's and it's such, like you said, he just sort of slips into that. It's so easy, and it's just amazing what that character had. I mean that that movie's what, it's not 30 years old. It's
1998.
25.
So
almost 25 years old,
Yeah,
and
23.
it's still iconic. We watched it again recently.
Yeah, we actually watched it
and
together.
I've seen, I don't even know how many
I couldn't
times
tell
I've
you how
seen this
many
movie.
times. I actually
But I
own
did-
a copy, which
But
tells you something.
I just think that, like, I catch new stuff every time I watch it. Like, I noticed this time around that you never, unless it's in that, like, one of those, like he's been drugged or knocked out or something like that.
Which does
Aside
happen.
from that, when he sort of bowls, you don't see him bowl.
No,
in
not
the
him.
bowling alley. You
Donnie,
never
you do.
Yeah, Donnie, you do.
Yeah,
But you never see the dude bowl. And then,
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
just one of those, because you think,
And he's
and-
laying on the rug, though. He's listening to his tapes of a bowling man.
right, but you never see him bowl. But it's
Yeah.
just one of those little things like, hey, you know what, you never catch, you never
You know what
see him
else is
bowl.
kind of weird, which is just a geek thing. We just watched it within the last 4 days or so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I tried to pay attention this time. Every time Donnie's bowling,
Yeah.
he bowls a strike.
Not every time.
Except at the end, just before he gets killed, is the only time he doesn't
Yeah.
get a strike. And he even looks, you see it in his face, like, what?
Yeah.
What didn't just happen?
Yeah,
It's
no,
kinda thing.
I've caught that before, and
Yeah.
I've caught when he sits down, he's sort of like feeling his
His
arm.
arm, yes, yeah.
So his heart attack is building. So
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
little
yeah.
details you got to watch. Folks.
Yes.
That's what makes you a movie nerd.
Those Coen brothers, let me
Yeah,
tell you,
no,
they
they,
are very
They
good at
do a
what they do.
fantastic job with
Yeah.
that. So
Uh,
the dude and your bathrobe to sort of celebrate that. So now, like I said, our friend Chris mentioned that. Wait a minute, you guys are not big like 420 celebrants, which is true because I think that I coughed up most of what I had ever
okay.
inhaled at one
Okay.
point, and edibles I'm a fan. So, but yeah, the stoner movie.
Stoner movie. We're going to stoner movies.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to think a little bit because there are. I'll give you an example of what I was thinking of. There are movies that have. They're very good movies. They have a stoner character in them, but I would
Yeah.
never consider them a stoner movie. Like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which has a great character
Right,
in
yeah.
there.
So then I'll change the
But
I'll
I'm
change
not
the
sure,
question.
like, if I would ever consider that to be a stoner.
No,
movie.
so I'll
that's
change
just
the
a
question.
great coming of age movie.
So
Well, wait a minute. I do
Oh,
have
you
an
have
answer.
one? All right.
I do have an answer. So I just wanted to say there are some movies, like I said, that would have a character.
like Brad Pitt in True Romance.
Right. There are ones, but I wouldn't consider them. Oh, that's a stoner movie. So let me just say, I love. I can throw out a couple of names, but these aren't. These are up. They're up for contention,
Okay.
but they aren't my pick. You got Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke.
Well, those
was
are
a classic.
The brand name of
Yeah,
stoner
exactly.
films. Those are the Apple.
I
product of
love.
stoner
Yes,
films.
I loved Pineapple Express. The whole Friday with Ice Cube
Yeah.
and Chris Tucker. These are all great
Great,
stoner
yeah.
movies and stuff.
Pineapple Express. Yeah, I love that. That
Yeah,
crossed
and
my
then
mind.
Bob and Jay, the other move, the one that they Strike Back. I was trying to
Okay.
remember which
Jay
movie
and
it is.
Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That one, but I have to
You
say that
consider
my
that a stoner film?
Well, with those two characters.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I don't know if it's a stoner film by it. But those two characters
Okay.
are are in there. It seems like everybody else.
Oh, we have our third. I wonder who our third is.
Got three.
We got three!
We are number 236.
We are number 236 in
the
Australia.
visual
We're big in
arts
Australia.
Yeah.
So, for just the audio, though.
Exactly.
They don't want to look at us.
No way. No way.
I blame Corky.
Yes. So my favorite stoner one is going to be Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
That was mine.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Now I feel bad.
Yeah,
man.
no, it's fine.
I
totally
need to
agree.
talk about that one.
I totally agree.
I really like that movie.
love
It's
that
a
movie.
good buddy thing. It's also they're
Good
just
little road film.
It's a road film. They're on a quest.
Yeah.
It covers a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it does.
And it's
Yeah, I
like
love that movie. I love Neil Patrick Harris in that movie. Like everyone in that is so great. Yeah, that's a really good one. I like the conflict between the two friends. Because he's just Harold just wants to. I got work to do. I got things to do. It's like, come on.
I love
To
the fact
White
that
Castle.
how just spur of the moment that Kumar is, and then there's the scene with his father, who's a prominent physician, and his brother, who's a prominent physician, and you can just tell there's the pressure. You are going to have this interview with this guy and the medical. You are going to do this, and he's just like, oh, Dad, and then he just goes, no, I'm not going. To Harold, no, I'm not going to go.
I'm not gonna go. No.
The other thing which seems like
I don't know. There's still Heather and Heather. Okay. All right. Well, we lost somebody. Damn, we're down to two.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
All right. So the other thing I like is there's he'll say it especially more like in the second half of the movie, or at least I'm trying to remember. I think more to the second half of the movie is when Kumar starts to refer to Harold or call him Rolly. Yeah, I just like that. I just kind of found that kind of cute and quaint. And just
it's that's best friends. You mentioned Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
And I'm
that's a phenomenal movie.
It is a phenomenal movie.
It's a great
does
coming
hold
of
up.
age. It does hold up.
Watched it recently, and it really does. It really does hold up. Even like that. The Jeff Spicoli character, you would think that by now, that movie's almost 40 years. That movie might be 40 years.
It might be pretty close.
You would think that would be kind of like so hackneyed, because it's so stereotypical of just like the California surfer dude guy,
Yeah.
But it's just like, damn it, it's an amazing performance, and to see what Sean Penn has done. Since and he's like considered a serious actor, and you like almost too serious. Like you want to, even in interviews, you want to go just like, hey Sean, you know what? Just why don't you bust out a little bit of Jeff Spicoli and just kind of relax a little bit.
It's funny. It's funny too how it's in society. It's in this whole pop culture thing. Because remember, not too long ago, we were at like Five Guys, and my wife went out to hold the seat while we ordered the food, and then she was like, "Oh, I was all excited. I picked the table and it was right across from a Jeff Spicoli character, but he just left before you guys got out here." Just the fact that like everybody knows what a Jeff Spicoli kind of character is.
Yeah.
And the other good thing about the Spicoli character is that in the movie he's when he is stoned and he's doing his thing, there are very few scenes where he's with his peers, other stoners.
Yeah.
A lot of times he's he's like with Mr. Hand, or he's dealing with other stuff like the football player's brother.
Yeah.
I can't remember the younger brother, but you know what I mean. So there's other stuff, and it's so well balanced. That's a good movie, but that's a great performance of a stoner in a movie that I don't necessarily consider a stoner film.
Yeah.
But
no, it's that's good. Yeah. Well, would you consider, like, I mean, the character of Jeff Lebowski, coming back to that, or the dude, would you consider that movie like a stoner movie?
No,
I would
it's
not.
weird. No,
I'd say it's
wouldn't.
more kind of like in the vein of like a Raymond Chandler kind of.
Oh, definitely.
L.A. noir, quote unquote mystery. I mean, I don't know how many more times I can air quote that, but to give it, because I mean, it's no L.A. Confidential, but it's
no, but it seems to be, it definitely seems to be a nod to that sort of a thing, an old mystery.
Yeah, it's got that feel where he's sort of, you're seeing.
And you have to really figure out, was that
LA.
a ringer for a ringer in the bag? Was the bag a ringer for a ringer? That
and
sort of thing.
I think that LA, the fact that it takes place in LA, I think that's a big part of it. I don't think that I could picture that story in another place. I think that LA is kind of like where it is. And I mentioned this part when, this point when we were watching it, when his landlord tells him about the dance.
That's right. Thing. Can you be there?
You look at Jeff's
and
Spicoli, Lebowski, or the dude, and you're just like, oh man, this guy is a very he has his place among his peers, and it's just really interesting that he of all people is the one that they kind of look to as maybe not an authority, but as a leadership figure. I mean, here's the landlord guy.
And can you take notes?
Yeah,
the other thing he says. And you come by and watch my performance, but take notes.
I'd like to hear what you have to say. I'd like your notes on it, which I think is just like,
that's great.
It's the last thing that you would expect. So
well, he is the author of the Port Huron statement.
He was, one of the authors.
Not the compromise second draft.
No, that's very watered down. Very watered down. So that's Jeff Bridges. That's Jeff Bridges. He's done it all, and
I can watch a Jeff Bridges movie almost any time.
Yeah.
I will say I can watch The Big Lebowski any day of the week.
Time.
Oh yeah.
Who are we gonna do next time?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
You said it.
Thanks to the folks, all 2 or 3 of you who this will be awful. No, this will be fine. To those of you who participated and watched and checked us out here.
And because this was a rousing success.
Really red. Look at my face. Anyway.
Wow. Yeah.
So this is what I'm excited about.
I'm excited about this.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, because this was a rousing success. We're
definitely going to
do the Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. We'll pick what do we do? Like our best 5 characters or something. We'll figure. We'll figure. That'll be fine and fun. So that'll be a really good show.
Yes.
And thanks for joining us for this this live event, of which we'll do
and
more.
If anybody in Australia is listening, thanks so much.
Yeah, so we turn this into a podcast every week as well, so you can get it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio and all those other podcast things.
And for all the other countries that begin with A, try to catch up with Australia.
Yeah, seriously, man.
I'm looking at you, Angola. You too, Andorra.
We've talked about this.
Tell me about it.
So, go to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe and all that stuff. So, apparently our time is up. We gotta go. So, thanks everybody for participating. I'm gonna get really close to the camera now and turn it all off. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.